Okay. And should be a second, and we'll see it come over here. It's been quick lately. Look at that.
Wow. Way better than the lag that it used to be. It used to be like 5 minutes.
Yeah, we even have someone waiting. That's wild.
At 5?
Can you believe it? Okay, and then Instagram, go live. I think we got all our bases covered. Let's rip it.
This is the OKest Hunter podcast.
Cheers,
Never
fellas.
pass on
Cheers.
bucks.
Cheers.
That's just meat in the freezer. It's your tag. You hunt how you want. This is OKest Hunter.
Jeez, I look fat.
Dude, watching yourself on camera, it sucks.
I
This
look-
shirt says, what's it
Look
say?
tall.
Hunt, lift, and eat, and all I'm doing is eating. I'm not lifting or hunting.
Doesn't say you have to do them all at the same time. There's periods of life you can focus on one more than the other.
There was a time I didn't look like that, but
Was that when you were killing all those big bucks?
yeah.
No, you gotta be
Turns
in
out
shape.
dragging out 250-pound deer really does a number on him.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard when you got to carry 250 pounds of your own damn weight.
Mhm.
It's not gear.
No.
It's like
Not useful, at
that
least.
keg that you bring into the woods every time you go. Holy cow. Welcome to the show. Welcome back. This is the OKS Hunter podcast. We got another note today saying, oh my gosh, you guys are writing Oconomowoc. We seem to get a lot of those. Someone stumbled upon us, they said, on Spotify. So if you're listening on Spotify, cool. Thanks. We're happy that you're here. We're brought to you by Nosler. So be sure to go to nosler.com, check out their ammo. They do have some good offers going on their Whitetail Country, which is an ammunition that I shot last year. It came out last year. They have their trophy grade ammo, which is, I think we were shooting that before the Whitetail Country.
Yeah, I'd already used that to kind of sight in my stuff, so I didn't switch to the Whitetail Country yet, but I still got a few more.
Okay.
That trophy grade, I really like that, so hopefully I
got-
can spend a few more this season.
I got into the ammo buying pandemic when the pandemic hit.
Oh, nice.
So you're stocked up?
So I stocked
You're
up.
good for a while.
I went crazy.
They do have a lot of, I was just talking to you guys before we hit record. They got their Simmons Whitetail 243, 100 grain, 7mm08, 140 grain, 3006, which is what I shoot. They got 165 grain. That seems to be pretty tasty for my Remington 700. 3030 Win, 150 grain. And also they have, and I know this matters to some different state or county or municipal regulations. They have a straight wall Whitetail Country 350 Legend 180 grain. So hopefully that's something for everybody that's tuning in. Use our OHP discount code. It's going to give you 20%. That makes this ammo quite honestly more affordable than it probably should be.
Well, the Whitetail Country is an affordable round, which is kind of what they
Anyways.
geared it to, like the everyday. And then using the code, hey, you're just like you're getting a bargain on it. But like that nice little discount code makes that trophy grade if that's your jam, or you like to shoot it out a little bit further and you want something that's just really top of the frickin' line. That makes that way more accessible to you. Also,
A lot of people here in the Midwest had not heard of Nosler. They weren't in retail. So like you go to the local wherever, Tractor Supply, Fleet Farm, wherever you're getting your stuff, you look at the shelf, you're not even seeing that. So then it wasn't like a brand you'd become familiar with. So we start talking about it. They start loading us up with it. We're shooting the shit with it. And now they are starting to back down the retail doors a little bit more. So there's a little bit, hopefully, more recognition with that, with their brand.
What's their higher end ammo? What's
Trophy grade.
the trophy grade.
So the one thing I'll say about higher end ammo all around in my experience, yeah, it's good for shooting long distance, but overall it's just a better round in my opinion. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
You know,
Stricter tolerances and
Yep.
everything is just
Mhm.
real
It's-
tight.
It's just
Every round
it's
is
better.
going to be
It's
the
better
same.
stuff. Every year we shoot prior to gun deer season, and guys will bring. I don't mean a brand bash, but they'll bring the cheap green Remingtons, and we'll have. It's not uncommon to have one or two duds in a box.
That's scary to me. That's
Yeah, my
that's
dad's
like
had
nightmare.
some duds. In the
Yeah.
way he's like, I had a doe dead to rights. Click.
Mhm.
And then he found the round, or just I think he found a different round, shot at a tree, went off just fine. It was that round. It was like a dud or something.
You pull them out of the
Happens.
chamber, and there's a dent in the
Yeah.
primer, and it
Nothing.
didn't go off.
It's the loudest sound in the woods
It's
when
a
that
lot
happens.
of curse words.
That
right
sound
after
is
that.
louder than the gunshot itself.
You know, and it never happens on the second or third round. It always
No,
happens on the
it's
first.
The one you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when they're moving through. So be sure to check those guys out. Bear just launched their new 2026 lineup. So I know we're looking at corresponding with those guys right now to get something on the calendar to get one of their product engineers on the podcast to go through what that lineup is, what it means. But holding true to the Fred Bear mission, making it accessible for everybody, which is aligned with us really well. And you could get a bow for a 6-year-old, and that person or that 6-year-old could shoot all the way up till they're 36, 46, doesn't matter. You really could, with the adjustability of those bows. Your daughter has one. We've talked about this in the past. So great brand. Stayed true to Fred's mission. USA made. What more could you ask for in a brand right now? Pretty great. We also, I don't know if I feel like I want to do all the ad reads in the beginning. More can come up. We'll maybe talk about saddle hunting, but like the Method 3 is quite amazing. And there's a lot of difference between the Method 2 from Latitude and the Method 3 and why that matters. Stay tuned. We'll get some videos out on our YouTube to like really break it down.
Because you haven't hunted from your Method 3 yet.
I've been putzing with it, but
it's got to be calling your name.
Have you?
It's so hot.
I don't have the Method 3. I think I've got the Maverick.
Okay. What else do you?
Got the Maverick, which is just a simple little one, and that sucker suits me just fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're pretty good with just raw dog and stuff. If you need to.
Great. Great raw dog.
Derek raw dogs the Deerwood's hard.
Just give me what you got, bro. No, I've been out a couple times.
I'm not putting that saddle down. That's not the point of that comment. But like, you don't eat in the stand, unless it's those weird freaking.
I'm not fucking around up there. I'm there to kill, bud.
I know.
I still hunt out of hang-ons at my age, at my weight. I still hunt on a small little hang-on.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Climbing stick. I got a harness and a lifeline, but I'm still climbing into hang-ons.
My dad's still doing.
The lifeline seems like a really good call. If anyone who has like fixed, like you leave your hang-on out there, like just spend the whatever $30 and put a lifeline in, so that way you're hooked up from the ground up and back down,
all the way up.
Oh yeah, smart.
Yep.
I think that covers it for the most part. I know Gerber's got some stuff coming on the pike for 2026. I'm really excited to get our hands on that now to put it to use. I know that's like happening. But the amount of they obviously treat us so well.
We've been absolutely spoiled.
I can't I'm finding more and more reasons to use knives in my house that like probably aren't necessary. My wife's like, really? I'm like, oh, why wouldn't I? What do you want me to do? Get a scissors? I'm not going to do that. Look what I have.
We did a mother-daughter and a father-son day this past weekend. And gave the kids paper and let's make a list of everything you'd want to do. We're just going to go and do it together. And the end of my son's day ended with a campfire meal, s'mores, and then we're going to tent camp in the backyard. So I was like, we're making s'more sticks. Go shopping for branches in the woods. And then he was like, should I go get the Gerber knives? And I was like, nice. Go get the knives. He was like, into the house, carving those sticks for s'mores.
Good for him.
Yeah, it was great.
He's their poster child over there.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, they make good stuff. I've got a couple of them.
They've been around forever.
They make good stuff.
They're not new.
Fishing, hunting, everyday stuff, camping. They're great.
They make good stuff.
We enjoy them a lot, and they're really great to work with. They have so they're in Portland, Oregon, but then the main guy we talked to, he's in Oregon, Wisconsin.
Oh,
which is just I'm like. Intentional or what's going on there? Justin, he's a good dude, and he came to Foam Fest too, which is cool. So he got to like hang out with us for a while and all that jazz. I don't remember if he shot or not.
He did, because remember he was
he won
average, the most okay score.
Yeah,
and he won one of the bows, and then was gracious enough to say, I would, thank you very much. But he said, just give it to one of the people who put in for the bow. I don't really need one. So whoever put in for a bow, let's pick 2 winners and they can have it, which was so nice of him. And then I think a 13-year-old kid won that bow, which was pretty awesome.
Cool. Dude, it's hot in here.
It's super hot, bro.
Yeah, it's hot outside.
I'm gonna go turn the thing on, but I'll get us kind of like going before I run off for 2 seconds.
Well, yeah, you better introduce him.
John Stellflue, you've been on the show in the past. You've once or twice, maybe.
I was on this one when I was involved with the Hunt and Common, and then I was on the OK's Fisher as well. So.
They put a little bird in my ear, and they wanted me to talk to you about
Muskies?
Making another appearance on. Matt wants to hit you up.
I just got back from another wonderful trip to Lake of the Woods, so I'd be happy to have Matt hit me up. So
absolutely,
he's got my number. He hit more Greg. So, but I love working with you guys. And look, there was a period there where I was gone. life changes, and now I'm back. So 40 minutes from the studio, it's freaking awesome.
Welcome
yeah.
back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah, and this is a new digs for us, so hopefully you enjoy it.
Yeah, it's cool. Cool as shit. I love it.
A little better than walking through my shitty basement.
Yeah. That came out wrong. I said, yep, I didn't mean it that way. Sorry.
Yeah.
Timing is everything.
That
Offense
came out wrong.
taken.
Yeah, that came out wrong. Your basement was great. This is greater.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, we're hosting a party here, a gathering, a small gathering.
Party!
Yeah, we're going to host a small party gathering, whatever, of people that are local to this area. We're going to do our premiere viewing of the OKS Hunter Show Season 3 kickoff.
I don't know that I'm going to make it,
So
guys.
if you can, great. If you can't, it's like I'm not going to hold it against
our
you.
wedding anniversary that day.
Yeah. I mean, you can always bring your wife here for a good time.
Hey, I'm going to take you out to dinner. I got a great place
That's
in
every
Ottawa.
gal's dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, take her to the Crafty Cow and then come here.
What's
Yep,
for
that's a
dinner?
good idea. Yep.
Cocktail
great.
winners and Busch
Yep.
Lights.
Yep. These
Go
guys
nuts.
these guys got it's an open house. You'll love it.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Honey, if you're listening. So
You can, and whatever. Of course, anybody that's not here, check it out on YouTube or Carbon TV. It'll be on both. It's going to debut there, whatever. I don't expect anyone that's going to be here in attendance to be actually watching it. It'll be on, but it's more of like a let's all hang out kind of
cool.
thing.
Yeah.
But looking forward to that. And I'm trying to think if there's any other like housekeeping things I need to be talking about. That's kind of like the main thing on the horizon. I don't know. Check out our YouTube channel anyways. We got some good content going out there. Derek's been crushing it lately with all the clips I've been putting out of you talking about how to
That's
kill
you.
deer.
I'm not doing that. You're
You
making
do it
the
and
clips.
then I massage it and make it all, nice.
Feels so good.
And to speak to that though, like Derek is murderous in the deer woods when it comes to mature whitetails and studying their behavior in such a way that it's like pretty like in if you treated humans that way, you'd be a psychopath or a sociopath. Like it definitely, you're pretty far in that spectrum of like
Thank you.
obsessed.
Thank you. I think
And I love it when people like you get together, like when you talked to my cousin Jeremy, that was amazing. But John, you've been there.
Been there.
And we're here to talk about the progression of the hunter's journey.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like you're getting closer to that sportsman stage.
Yeah.
If we were to call it that, I don't know if that's what you want to call it, but
Yeah,
let's
that's fair.
take
Yep.
it from there. I'm going to go turn the AC on. I'll be right back.
Yep.
crank it up high, Reggie. I want to freeze.
Yeah. I've kind of, I don't want to say full circle. I haven't come full circle, but I view the deer woods differently now than I did for many, many years. For better, for worse, good or bad, it to me, it doesn't matter. It's just, I'm in a different place when I step into a tree stand these days. And for years I would define myself as a trophy hunter. That's what I did.
Was that kind of like when you came up into hunting, and we kind of talked a little bit about the location. So I mean, if that's important to you, you can bring that in. But
I'll bring it up.
when you kind of came into hunting at I'm assuming a young age,
Yep.
you've been a sportsman forever.
Yep.
Was that kind of the way that your hunt camp was
no,
it, or
no.
how did you kind of was it just like a goal of yours to hey, let's not start knocking down big ones, or
It happened through a kind of a weird, almost a weird twist. I grew up in a small town in western Wisconsin, and I'll name the county. I don't care. It's all private. You can't get on any land over there anyway. So I grew up in Trempealeau County, and a lot of these little towns have rod and gun clubs. And my dad was a member of the Rod and Gun Club. And I would go to meetings I was, I think, a junior in high school on this meeting that I went to. And there was, I don't know if it was Tom Indrabo or somebody that Tom Indrabo knew, but they were speaking at that meeting at the Ettrick Rod and Gun Club back in, I'm going to say, I graduated in 87. So I'm going to say it was 84 or 85 that meeting took place. And he was talking about quality deer management. And then he was also talking about these videos that a lot of folks haven't heard about. I was surprised you did. That were put out in the 80s. One was called Bucks of the Buffalo and one was called Monarch Valley. And I remember Bucks of the Buffalo a little better. And in that video, these guys drove around Buffalo County, and Tom Indrabo was behind that. I Googled it and couldn't find much on it, but these guys drove around Buffalo County with sometimes a spotlight at night because shining is legal. and they would shine these huge bucks in the field, and they would video
It
them.
was pre-trail cams too. When you
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
how you get
Yep.
good intel.
Yeah,
I love shining for deer.
Yep, that's great. That's great fun. And then they would also, in the summer, they would sit hay fields and bean fields, and they had video of bachelor bucks or of groups of bachelor bucks that would just, I sat there and watched this video, and I'm thinking, the county I hunt borders their county. This can happen here. And I was a young man. I was a kid. I wasn't even a man.
Deer don't know county lines.
Yeah, right. And so we started doing it on the farm that I hunted, then many other people started doing it. And the next thing you know, we're not shooting 4-pointers and 8-inch wide 6-pointers and little 10-inch basket rack 8s, right? We start to see these deer, and we're starting to shoot some big ones, right? I mean, the first big one I ever shot, my daughter was a year old, and I believe she's 34 or 5 now. And that was a 15-pointer with a 10-inch drop tine. And I mean, and
sorry, I just went from noon to 6 to noon.
And this buck was, I mean, it was one of the first real big bucks. Not one of the first, but that's kind of what the culmination of what we were doing. And all of a sudden everyone was like, yeah, this can be done. But then it got almost, for me, it got to be an obsession. And it was, I can tell you the first tree that I was sitting in when I passed my first buck. And I know I was a junior in high school when I passed my first buck. So how many guys at a junior in high school are passing 8-point bucks?
Especially in the 80s.
In that day and age, right?
Yeah.
Yep. It was mid 80s, and it took me a number of years to shoot a big one. It was probably 5 or 6 years after that where I finally shot a big one. But I became obsessed with it, and the scent control levels that I was going to, and the stand location, and then the access and the driving around and the preseason scouting. And nothing I love more than a bean field that didn't get picked in December that had 6 inches of snow on it, because that would tell you every deer. A couple of evenings sits on that bean field would tell you every deer for 5-6 miles probably, because it sucks them in from a long ways away. And I just became obsessed with it, and I continued to get good at it. And then a lot of folks around me, they were getting good at it. But it just, as it kind of peaked, all of a sudden, just some things started to happen, and I started to do some things that really I didn't realize when I was doing them. It was much later in life that I realized it. But some things started to happen where I went, I don't know if this is really that good, and
in what way do you mean?
Yeah,
that's good. Like for the herd, for you, for the culture,
for me, 100% for me,
okay.
100% for me. And then I think a second part of that is
what happened in your life?
Probably the culture.
For that aha.
One of the things I did is, one of the properties I hunted, there was an area that I could hunt. It was a private farm, and it was an area that I could hunt, and I was told I could hunt that. Great, thanks. But the deer weren't using that area. So I parked my vehicle in that area, and I had already snuck in and hung a stand in an area that I wasn't supposed to be hunting. It was still the
same
landowner, but just an area he didn't want me to hunt. And I went and put a stand in that area. And pretty soon I thought I heard something coming. Well, it was the landowner who was looking for me because he saw me go in there. And I just removed the stand and got out of there. And, he knew I was in there. He never found me. He never said anything about it. I never said, to this day, I haven't said anything about it.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah. I mean, he knew I was in there, but he never caught me. And I knew I shouldn't have been in there. And that's when I was like, man, you're probably taking this too far.
Like, what am I doing to shoot a big deer?
Yeah. Just, doing stuff like that. I had a nephew. In fact, I took the same nephew to Canada with me fishing a few months back in July. And we had probably had a few too many of these, and we got talking about our deer hunting. And again, I apologized to him for what I said to him when he was 17 years old, because he shot a buck almost identical to that right there. And the first words out of my mouth were, what do you think it was? That'd have been nicer next year.
You're not the first one who said that.
Yep.
And you won't be the last.
And I didn't at the time. I meant it,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah,
stood by
sure.
it. I stood by it because it would have been nicer next year.
There's no doubt.
2.5-year-old perfect 8-pointer would have probably, went into a 130-inch 10-pointer the following year. I don't know. Another thing that happened that it was really awkward for me. That buck that I was talking about, that the 13-pointer that I shot, or it's actually a 15-pointer with a drop tine. I actually had that buck scored. It was the one and only deer I ever had scored. It was at a rack scoring party over in West Salem, Wisconsin. So we walk in there, and everyone's got their deer on the wall, and it's just a small bar in town. And they're doing the scoring, and it's taking all day, and guys are drinking beers. And I mean, my buck, it was big. It was one of the bigger ones in there. And I desperately wanted a Pope and Young buck, and it's 125 inch for a Pope and Young buck, right? Yep. And I desperately wanted that. Well, this buck was so non-typical that only had four. It had main 4 on one side and 9 a mainframe 5 on this side, plus a drop tine and a bunch of stickers. And the tine length was all over the board. So this thing grows well over 150, but netted out at like 113. So the guy tells me that, and I said, so this isn't a record book buck? And he said, no. And I was devastated. And
So how many more drinks did you order after that?
How bass backwards is that, though?
Yeah.
Like, that's just so weird.
Yep. And my dad was with me, and he could tell I was devastated. We left that bar and then went and had a lot more drinks. Yeah, we got out of that bar. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different kind of drinking when you're drinking with that on a chip on your shoulder.
Yep. But it took me years to understand just how much that bothered me. I instantly never scored a buck again after that.
You got to have a lot of self-awareness to have these reflective thoughts.
Yeah.
Like my wife is in education, and she talks about fixed mindset versus growth mindset. And fixed is like, you can't learn that what you think you already know.
Mm-hmm.
Growth is like you're open to hearing new concepts and ideas and things of that nature. And you have to have some self-awareness to even get to that point. So just kudos to you for having enough of that to get to where you are, to have this conversation.
Yeah.
And some humility to have the conversation too.
It's just wild to think that for whatever time span went between you taking this deer that you were surely excited about,
Mm-hmm.
and excited about for hopefully a number of months before you went to and then somebody just putting a tape measure around it, telling you a number somehow changed what you thought about that experience, and it ruined it.
Yeah.
Like that in itself is just wild that's what the score does, right?
Yeah.
Like that, and that probably happens to a number of people.
Well, think what it does if it would have scratched the itch that you had thought of.
Right.
Your ego would have gone a different direction.
Right.
Yeah.
It would have been not bruised. It would have been enlarged.
So my nephew, who I said that would have been a nice buck next year, he himself has went on to kill some pretty good bucks. And the same farm that I shot that big one with the drop tine, he shot a really big one. And he asked me, what do you think it's going to score? I was laying in the back of the pickup truck. I said, that's all day long, mid 160s. I said, and that might be the magic. That might be a booner. I said, it's real close to being a booner. Oh, it's not that big. I said, it doesn't look that big because the tine lengths are so long, and what it's disguising is these super long main beams. I said, you've got almost 50 inches of main beam, 25 on each side. This thing's big. The buck scored 168 and 5/8, and he was disappointed
That it
wasn't
170.
160. Yeah.
Yep. That's and
Did you? I feel like you could totally quote the Ricky Bobby. Oh hell, Ricky, I was high when I said that. I lived my whole life off of that.
Yeah. So scoring of them is that's one thing, and I had a very unique experience with scoring. Most people don't have that experience, but it led me to never score another deer. And to this day, the dozens of bucks that I got on the wall, I haven't scored anyone. And the standing joke amongst the people that know me, whenever I shoot a big one, they say, "What did score?"
Yeah,
but I don't score them, because I'm like, well, they are what they are, right?
You have the memory, right? And
Yeah.
that's one thing that I'm just going to throw a little shout out to, again, our buddy Bo. Bo has hunted some of the best places across the country, multiple states. He's got an amazing lease down in Illinois where they have boone
Bo Bilo with Ghost Buck.
Bo Bilo of Ghost Bucks. They've got booners running the property every year, and man, he invites friends and family on. And
I think I got an invite, by the way.
The answer to like, hey, what am I like? Because like I know these guys got big deer. The first time I went down there was like, hey, what can I shoot?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is, dude, make a memory, shoot whatever the hell you want. We're gonna be excited for you no matter what.
Yep.
And like when he said that to me, I was like, are you for real? And he's like, yeah, dude, let's make a memory.
Yep.
And he's like, dude, if it's cool, if it gets you going, do it. And in a place where you have the opportunity to shoot what most people would consider a trophy deer, a high scoring deer, for that, like that was like a weight lifted. Like, and we've made a lot of great memories.
Was it last week that someone called in to talk about their watch?
Yeah, the heart rate.
It's like that's it.
But that's the thing, right? You hunt for the memory. Don't worry about what the paper says.
Well, John, I have a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of the culture then, it was kind of coming into this trophy class KDMA stuff.
I was on the front end of it.
What's your thought? How do you think that compares to now? Like, I think the flames have been fanned quite a bit because let's just be like very, very blunt here. There is a hunting industry, and I know we try to call it community for a very specific reason, but that industry is largely driven by antlers. Like,
I would disagree with you. I would say it's 100% driven by antlers.
Okay,
not largely.
I mean, you can't look at magazines are basically irrelevant, but like take that to YouTube, thumbnail covers, social media posts, digital articles, magazine covers, all of that stuff. It's antler porn.
Mm-hmm.
It just, but that even with that self-awareness and acknowledgement, we still like it too,
right?
Like I still want that too.
I passed a buck Sunday because I wanted a bigger one.
I just so. I'm not saying it's all bad. I don't know. What I'm curious about is like your perception of someone who is a generation older than us. How do you think about it now? Looking back and seeing like where we are today. I don't know what I'm trying to ask. I just want to see what you're going to say about that.
If you're asking would I change anything, the answer is no.
No, I don't. No,
okay.
Forget all that. Like you're not going to change it. I want to know what your perception is of how if you were growing up in it now, would it be worse for you than when it was then when you were that high school?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with the potency of the drug has gotten stronger.
Absolutely. And here's why. Because when I was growing up in it, it was VHS tapes. There was no social media. There was no cell phones.
Just like porn.
Yep.
And a box of VHS tapes under your bed.
I remember the first, and I was telling this to my nephew Gunnar, who is an avid trophy hunter and is very, very good at it. I was telling him about this. I said,
is he listening now?
I don't know if he is or not.
Right.
I texted him, told him I was going to be on. I told him about the first trail cameras, and he didn't believe me. And the first trail cameras were small 35 millimeter autofocus compact cameras that were in a somewhat of a waterproof box. And you'd set them out in the woods. You have to go get the film developed.
It was life changing.
Yeah,
you can take pictures of shit.
I ran a bunch of those.
Yeah.
And before that, they even had trail timers. Do you remember that?
Yep.
The string. When the string was broken, it would log the time.
Yep.
I didn't run those, but I ran the 35 millimeter
from Morse
cameras
code
for years.
to phone calls, man.
Yeah.
To FaceTime.
Yep. And our information back then came out once a month in North American Whitetail, Field and Stream, Outdoor Life, North American Rifleman.
You were so excited to read those.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big deal. I could tell you my years growing up in high school, I would only go to the library typically once a month. And that was when those magazines came out. Yep, because I'd go get the magazines. I'd sit and read them in the library.
Periodicals.
Yeah.
In the periodical section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, I've seen it change dramatically, and even the landscape of where I grew up has changed dramatically. Because when I was doing what I was doing, and when I was in elementary school, junior high, high school, there was small dairy farms dotting the landscape all over Trempealeau County. And that was another part of me transforming away from a trophy hunter is all these small farms got bought up. And they weren't back in the late 80s, early 90s. They weren't selling for that awful much money. They were affordable for the average
they weren't whitetail meccas.
No.
Yeah.
So if a father and son wanted to get together and buy one of these farms, they were getting them for $150,000. 80, 120 acres, 80 acres, because that was what the average size farm was. So they would buy them, they would have it to hunt. And then as the bigger dairies started to get big, such as the one that I hunt on now, those dairy farmers would lease up those small farms, just the fields, to have for corn and alfalfa. So that was a shift as well, just the landowner shift that I saw in western Wisconsin.
And
that
just
made a
to put
difference.
a small space in this answer is, I want you to take a moment to talk about what you define as trophy hunting, and then continue on.
Yeah, and so really, and this is my definition, right?
Which is good.
Yep,
good
and you can put whatever definition you want on it, but for me, it was truly passing up smaller bucks in the interest of shooting bigger ones. But the other thing we were doing is we were shooting a lot of does too, because that
earn a buck.
That's kind of, we started a little bit before that. I told you before we started recording that I had a landowner, and the deer were thick that year. And he said, there's not a buck in this opening day of gun deer season. He said, the morning, we always have breakfast in the morning at his kitchen table. And he said, there's not going to be a buck shot until we have at least 10 does dead. Not at all. We all had a fistful, pocket full of doe tags, And you should have heard the woods that morning.
The most action it's seen.
But we had 13, by the time we broke for lunch, we had 13 antlerless deer hanging in the tree, And
That's from
that day on, it just, our hunting out there was, and then we figured the property out, and we had permanent stands, and you had, easy access in and out of them stands. So you could hunt the wind, you could get in there silently, and we were killing big bucks year after year after year, and in fact, for my okayest moment, if you still ask that at the end, I'll tell you about my okayest moment on one big buck on that farm. So I watched it, that whole doe hunting thing change. And that was another piece of how I moved away from it, is every time you shoot a trophy, a big one, you got a taxidermy bill ahead of you.
Yeah.
You got to keep it out. They don't taste that good.
Not as good as a nice
year and a half old doe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I started to learn how to cook venison. I started to learn how to process my own venison, and all of that. All of a sudden, I just started realizing that, man, it's just easier to go sit in the stand, put almost zero effort into it, and just shoot a doe when she walks by, or two, or
So you kind of found a new connection to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just, your effort was just focused in a different way
Absolutely.
to the preparation
Mm-hmm.
and, what happens after that kill.
Yep.
And that kind of changed your view.
Yep. And I want to be perfectly clear on something. I'm not against trophy hunting in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I got a nephew who is a trophy hunter like you wouldn't believe. He reminds me of myself when I was his age, except he's a hell of a lot better than I was. And he's killing big ones, typically 2 a year, one with a bow and one with a gun. And I'm absolutely thrilled for him, and, so to that point, I hunt the same farm. I don't shoot. I try not to shoot, small bucks, and you don't need to, because you can just shoot does.
I got a question for you. And just, you have so many connections with private landowners,
Mm-hmm.
and, you've known those folks forever and ever and ever.
Yep.
And what you mentioned before with kind of the onset of quality deer management, and once you hit on it before with like Indrobo putting out those videos.
Yep.
And I remember, like, even the old VHS hunting tapes, these guys are out, they were excited to get a buck down on video. And like,
Mm-hmm.
the deer they were nice deer, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them were 2-year-old deer, knocking them down. But then, like, when those videos came out and people started to realize without trail cameras, like, the quality of deer and that it could be done. And then when you said you shot that 15-point drop tine, and everyone around you probably looked at that and was like, holy shit, it can be done if we pass them. Like, that kind of power just slowly spreads. And I feel like even like 15, 20 years ago, there was pressure on probably all those private farms, I'm just speculating, to start doing quality deer management.
We put pressure on them. Myself and other people, we put pressure on these guys.
Now, and that's to shoot bigger deer. Now, in your opinion, like today with the industry, like you said, being so focused on big, do you feel like there's pressure not to shoot, like, if you got like a kid coming up, you're taking your 15-year-old nephew and he wants to shoot a 6-pointer, do you feel like people like look down on that or get like upset at like that? You know what I mean? Like almost like it's the same idea as quality dimension, but like it's almost like a reverse of it.
Only the real jerks do that.
Like if it was a kid or somebody first time.
And I've seen him and I've heard him over there. You know, and I've heard guys squawk about the youth season, you know, because every year in Trumbull County there's some whoppers that get shot, you know, because they're still hitting the fields a lot of times, you know. But no, the farm we hunt, and you know, that's one of my notes here is, you know, hunting with my daughters and my nephews and some of the mentees that I've, you know, hunted, you know, the mentored hunts that I've done, you know, over the years down here, and seeing the excitement and the joy in those people's face when they have an opportunity to a 4-pointer or a 6-pointer, you know, that's truly special. That's the memories that you were talking about just a few minutes ago. You know, that's some special stuff. So no, and I'll just say that it takes a real asshole to you know, to buck shame a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid.
But it happens every season.
But it does.
It does.
And
in every state, not just that happens all over. People get so bent out of shape because
Derek, you just talked about like how the logic behind how passing deer can grow a bigger deer, and I think that's valid. It's been proven out to a degree. It's very much like if I don't buy this thing and if I save my money and I wait till the next paycheck and I save some more, suddenly you start to get this scarcity mindset. Well, I'm not going to tap into that. What if I just keep growing that pile of money? And I wrote about this and it got published in Hook and Barrel, but I talked about like too much ego in hunting as the title of the article. But I tried to apply the Stoic stuff to this process of like, it can lead to entitlement, which then breeds paranoia and then has some effect of like control. And if you start killing big deer, you feel like you're entitled to them to a degree. And then paranoia sets in. We're like, you can't shoot that deer. If you shoot the small one, we're not growing these big deer. Now I'm paranoid about it. So now I'm not literally attacking people, but I'm like shrapneling out that like mindset of, well, now you should have passed on that because now you're infringing on my ability to shoot a big buck. Because if you would have let it grow, then there'd be more bigger ones for us. I don't. This is like my ability to connect dots here, right? To a thesis. I don't know that it holds any sort of weight, but I attempted to do so. If you want to look at the article, you certainly could. But it does feel like this saving and stockpiling of things, which feels just inherently a little bit greedy.
Yeah,
you know. But as young men, I think we're more susceptible. And men in general, men have egos. We're fucking possessive.
Yeah,
like. Dude, don't even look at my girl. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, I got into a fight at a bar once when some guy like tried to like hit on my wife.
Yep.
Some guy was trying
to win.
Look,
it got weird.
Some guy was trying to look over my shoulder and look at my trail camera pictures. I had to knock his ass out.
My boss today, I was standing next to him on a call. And I'm like, "Are you looking at trail cam photos right now?" He's like, "Yeah." He put his phone down. He showed me later.
My favorite is when you got a group of guys standing around talking. Wherever, a show, spring turkey hunting, whatever outing you might be at. And one guy says, yeah, the neighbor shot my buck last year.
Yeah. It's no one's deer, by the way. Like, but I wanted you to talk about that a little bit because, again, I'm not picking on your age here, but
no,
there's wisdom that you have that we don't. There's wisdom that we have that that I don't. You carry some above us though. So we can punch above our weight class with you here in terms of that wisdom, because I think it's great that you're in the seat. Yeah, I think young men we strive to hit these aggressive, ambitious goals. And the big age class bucks denote and like validate that ambition that we have.
Yeah.
I got it done, bro. I killed the big one. Like, and I want that still now, and I'm 39, but I have a family and a career and a side hustle, and I'm like, I get so frustrated. I actually enjoy the heat right now because I can't have FOMO as much.
Right.
Because if it was like beautiful fall weather, crisp, cold air, I'd be fucking crabby. Oh. I'd be pissed. I'd be trying to find any little inch and nook and cranny I can to go hunt and vacate my family.
Yep.
Because I want to go do that thing. That's selfish. So what? There's an age where you can be selfish.
You're right. Right.
And like I'm telling you, if you're going to do this endeavor, like while you're young, go get it done now.
Yep. And a lot of, you were talking about me being able to self-reflect on this. A lot of that didn't happen until I got older.
Some of that, you said Doug would mention this to you. At some point, it just kind of is like it comes with the territory of aging up.
It just comes with age, and over time, I just look back on some of these interactions and I'm like, man, you probably shouldn't have done that. You probably shouldn't have said that. I don't regret it because it was who I was at the time.
Mm-hmm. Life is a film reel, not a snapshot.
Yeah.
You will change.
Yeah.
You should. If you're a snapshot, you got a rough life ahead of you.
Yeah.
A film reel is allowed to change. And it will change.
And I think probably the biggest thing that changed me was becoming a dad and taking my daughter out hunting. And because I didn't give a rip, I didn't care what she shot. The first deer she shot was a buck fawn, and that's one of the best hunting moments I've ever had in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Was a buck fawn.
Doesn't help put things into perspective.
Yeah. Then with the next year we were hunting, and this deer come up out of this. It came into just a strangest spot. I'd hunted this stand before, and I'd never seen a deer come this way. And I'm like, oh, there's one. I mean, he was close. It was probably 15 yards away, and she pulled up and shot it right in the brisket, and that deer died. Well, turns out that was it. Literally, we registered it as a doe. I didn't see the antler on it. I mean, it had a 2.5-inch spike on one side. I didn't see it. She was all bent out of shape.
That's a tender buck right there.
And then her biggest buck she hit, and we unfortunately didn't find that one. But she hunted 4 years with me. So, but
best 4 years of your life.
Yeah, and I'd like to get her back in the deer woods, and we talk, but she just hates getting up in the morning. So I said, "Hunt evenings with
that
me."
Right now, my daughter.
I said, "Hunt evenings with me." So, but she's grown and she's made me a grandpa now. So, and then I had a lot of nephews that I took hunting as well. And that really, to me, it changed my perspective because for the first time in my life, I wasn't in the stand for me. It wasn't selfish.
Wasn't it? I think it was Jordan Peterson, if you follow that guy, and I have mixed thoughts on him in general, but he had said, like, this is mostly true for most adults. There are exceptions to the rule, but by and large, you are a selfish human being until you have a kid. Because up until that point, the life you are the center of your universe. Until you have a kid, you don't actually get it, which is funny because, like, if I talked to younger me before I had kids, younger me would call current me a little bitch for not getting into the gym and lifting and eating, and be like, "Figure it out, dude. You're dad, so what? Be there for your kids." You have no fucking idea, younger me. I can't even begin to articulate how challenging this is in ways that you can't even begin to comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
And the importance of putting my kids before me is like, it's not even second nature anymore. Or I'm sorry, it's not even like a thought. It's second nature. It's just, they just come before me now. That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
I have buddies that can't comprehend that have not had children yet. They're like, I don't even know how to have a conversation with them. It doesn't even like register.
It all is.
It's all relative.
It is, and it's just it's fun to talk about it and to hear about it. And anyone who's not a parent, like, don't feel like you are not part of the club or you don't get it, because like everybody's in their different spot. We talked to the different stages of hunters, but I had a conversation with my son last night. We're going up to the cabin this weekend to celebrate my mom's birthday. Happy early birthday, Mom! If you're listening, Yep. We're gonna go up celebrate her birthday. It's gonna be beautiful colors. It's gonna be warm. But I asked my son the question last night. I was like, "Hey, me and Grandpa are probably going to want to go hunting with you. Would you want to come bow hunting?" And, I started with, "Well, how far are we going to go?" Because we did the shed hunting in the spring and we were doing like 4 or 5 miles.
He's 8, right?
Yeah, he's 8. So I was like, "Dude, it'd be under a mile." He's like, "Under a mile?" He's like, "I'll go for sure." And I was like, "Sweet." So I immediately went online and bought a doe tag for that unit. I was like, if we can put down something, bring the whole family out. Like, that's the experience I want. I don't care if a 6-pointer walks out.
Now
like
watch, you're going to see like a 15-point with a 10-inch drop time. Like,
right. Probably not. That's not happening. Yeah. But who knows? But like, it just immediately when he said he wanted to go, like my perception of what that weekend was going to be totally changed.
Sure.
Hey, if we can make a memorable experience, let's do it. And I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but I think anybody, and this is blatantly obvious, but if anyone has not, like, you've been a listener, but you haven't really put thought into the ethos, I think the idea, and you mentioned this earlier, you don't want to like convey that we're against trophy hunting.
It's your hunt.
I think what we're all agreeing on is that trophy hunting is totally
Part
awesome
of the journey.
Yeah.
and wonderful,
Mhm.
as long as you're not imparting what you think should happen onto other people's
Exactly right.
experiences.
Yeah.
As soon as you take what you want, your ego, your like, do what you need.
Mhm.
I'm a trophy hunter by your definition for sure, but I'm not trying to make that somebody else's prerogative
Right.
to serve me.
Yeah.
That's where the problem comes in. That's where the comments come in and telling people, hey, you should have passed that. There's no business shooting a buck that small, blah, blah, blah. Keep your visions, keep your ideas
Yep.
to what your goal is.
And
that's what it is.
And to
It's
this
yours.
day, I've never heard someone that is considered to be a successful mature buck killer, not hunter, because like the ones that can consistently put down big mature deer year over year, whatever. I've never heard any of those folks, and we all know who they are. I think if you're paying attention, you're in this like vein of endemic hunting. They're not ever bashing anybody. It's almost always some guy that hasn't done it that's like trying to safeguard it, hoping for the shortcut or something. It's just kind of this weird person that's the one in the keyboard comments or
Mhm.
saying weird stuff. The guys that truly get it done are happy for anybody to do whatever they're after. They're not, they don't have the scarcity mindset. Derek, I think you embody like an abundant mindset. There's plenty to go around. Everyone's doing their own thing. It's all good. You're not going to impart that on us. I think that's a healthy way to go about it.
I think that's important with hunting in general.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
hunting in general.
And that goes to gear.
All
That
of
goes
it.
to property, terrain. It ain't just antler class.
Mhm.
It's all, well, that's not how I do it. That's not how my dad did it. Okay. Cool. Like what? I see this in the comments. You can visit our comment section any day of the week, and you'll find exactly what we're talking
Dude,
about.
people were so fired up about
How
that
the
short
drag-
reel.
Yeah.
We're dragging a buck out
In a
last year
sled.
in a sled, and the deer's antlers are facing backward because we're going through all the marsh grass. Antlers forward, we're catching all the grass.
Right.
I'm pulling the sucker. We put it backwards. It's in a sled. 99 people were there to tell me how stupid I was for dragging the deer backwards. I was like,
'Cause
it's
of the
in a
mount.
sled.
Which, by the way, I don't like. I was like, I don't know. It's a Euro mountain, bro. I don't even know what. I'm just. Thanks.
It's okay.
But
It's gonna be all right. You didn't have to drag it. Why
I have
are you
another.
so
I have another
mad?
point about that though. I'm happy to hear that information. Does it always have to be so damn condescending?
Oh, it always does.
Can you say it
It
so I
always
can
does.
learn from you?
Yeah.
That's
It's
like
not
one
a
of my.
comment unless it's aimed to piss you off.
Yeah, like oh, way to go, idiot. It's like, well, how about if there's a better way to do it?
dumb
Just,
shit.
just tell me, man. But that comes with the territory because this is blue collar
Yeah,
shit.
that's what it is.
This is what it's like on the job site. So the other thing is like have some thick skin too. Like you're gonna get shit in the space and it's okay. Okayest hunter ain't woke.
Right.
Like
right.
we just are confident in knowing what the hell we're doing.
Right.
There's a damn difference. So like you can dish it up, boy, and I can fucking take it and dish it right back. But if you're gonna get soft about your feelings, like sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it like it is for a second.
The thick skin part is where a lot of people miss. That's they get all bent out of shape over some keyboard cowboy who.
But also, why be a dick? People always have to be a dick about things.
Yeah.
Everyone just calm the hell down.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
As I'm all fired up.
Yeah.
I'm a hypocrite.
Follow the Wisconsin DNR on social media once.
Oh, there's some great
They get
comment
trolled
section
hard.
Those are some good ones. Yep.
Yeah.
Especially
Like,
anything
the guy
about
at the
deer
bar
hunting.
They
texted from
could
his phone.
post, have a great day,
Yep.
and they're going to get
Yep.
1,000 comments.
Yep.
It's like Full Metal Jacket. Good morning. How do you know it's a good morning?
Yep. They had a podcast for a brief period, and
They've come on ours. We've had the wardens
okay.
Yeah,
come
we
on
had
our
2
show.
wardens come to your
because
basement.
they're like, we need to get out into the world and like tell people what it's like to be a ranger.
Yep.
Day in the life. And I was like,
My wife and I were on their podcast talking about how to balance marriage and raising kids
you had that conversation.
and hunting. We had that conversation on the Wisconsin DNR
How's it
podcast.
gone overall in your life balancing marriage hunting? Because I struggle with that shit.
We got married. We got married. I was young. I was real young. I was 19 years old, and
She just graduated high school.
Yep, she wasn't pregnant.
She's just
That's everyone thinks, you know.
Good for
And thanks. And she was older than me. In one of our conversations pre getting married,
John's also a cougar hunter.
yeah, and one of our conversations is, and I told her this, and I meant it. and she owned it, and to this day, she still does. In fact, I went
Good for her,
fishing
because women don't listen either. For the
in
record.
fact, I went fishing on Saturday, and she, what time are you going to be back? And I told her, and I was back at that time. The conversation I had with her was, look, because she said, well, you're young. Do you have any fears about getting married? And I said, I have one real big fear. And I said, I love to hunt and I love to fish. And that is a part of who I am. And I said, I've seen way too many people get married. And shortly after, the woman is saying, no, you can't go hunting because we're doing this. Or you can't go fishing because we're doing that. My ask is that I get to go hunting whenever I want, provided the following. All the work's done. There's not a birthday party. There's not a Christmas party. There's not, if there is nothing on our calendar, I don't ever want to be told I can't go hunting or fishing because you don't want me to. She said, that's fine, but I have one request. And that is, she said, my issue with hunting and fishing has always been guys go and they just are gone for hours on end and no one knows where they're at and they never come home. I said, that's not going to be me. I said, I'll, what do you need me to do? She said, plan a hunt and hunt the plan. She said, if you tell me you're going to be home
it's about expectations.
Yeah. She said, you tell me you're going to be home
Why
at
do you
9.
think this is on a Tuesday night every week?
Yeah.
It's expected.
Yeah. If you tell me you're going to go fishing and you're going to be home at 9 in the morning, be home at 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
Not 10, not noon.
That has to have happened a couple of times.
One time.
Well, they were biting.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice. So one time I was with a guy who just didn't care and he just kept me out. And she was pissed. She was really mad.
But you knew it.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn it.
Yeah. And I'm like, I got to go. The other time it was, we had cell phone reception, and that was back when I was a big muskie fisherman. Still love to muskie fish. But I was with my good friend, Steve Heiting, and we got on a bite. We had fished 2 lakes that day. And the second lake we went to, all of a sudden they just started going. And we had caught one muskie early in the day.
Muskie are like the trophy class fish.
Yeah. And after 45 minutes on this body of water, we had 2. And then pretty soon we had 2 more. And I'm like,
quit now.
And I'm like, dude, I got to go. And he said, so do I. He said, but this happens once in a lifetime. I think we're a part of something. We can't leave until this stops. And we ended up getting 9.
Oh my God. You got 9 muskies in a day?
Yep.
You're almost trading bites for divorces on that one.
Holy shit.
And we didn't have cell service on the lake. We got back to the landing. Both of us immediately called our wives and explained why we were late and explained what happened. And there was no drama, no nothing over that. So just
at the end of the day, at some point, your wife has to be
that.
happy for you for these things. This book was a problem for me. This book was a problem. I remember Greg coming to my house to go track this thing. And I got in the truck with him. I was like, he's like, you excited? I was like, well, not really. It's not going good. And this is one of those selfish things. The weather had done what it had done. I got permission on a property, and my wife had thrown her back out. We had just had our 3rd kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm going to go hunt. Probably not the smartest move.
Yeah.
I got the deer. For what, though?
Mm-hmm.
This deer will haunt me for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Because it's created a bit of PTSD for my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Fall is her favorite time of the year. Not anymore.
Yeah.
But as parenting continues to become something you can't neglect, you just can't. And it's not about my wife says no. It's about being a good steward of our family, being a husband, being a family man, being present in our household. It's not that she's saying no, but it's also I just would have guilt because I know better. And but at some point, I think there's a bit of a scale where hey, I haven't gone. I feel like at some point I earn to be that. And as much as I would I feel like I root for my wife with brownie points. I want you to go do this thing with your friends. Yeah, go. I'm here. I got it. But I got it doesn't really mean as much because she has it 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say I got it, it's well, you should. Of course you should. I'm here all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And so then when I get to go, I'm hopeful that she's I'm happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she is, but also she's you kind of left me hanging, dude. Weren't we a team? Didn't we do this thing together? You decided to have kids too.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just complex.
It
There's
is.
layers to this stuff.
Yep, it is. But we had a deal, and she held up her end, and I held up my end. There was
Good for you.
there was a number of falls I bow hunted very little because the girls were swimmers, and swimming takes place in the fall. In fact,
Mhm.
there was a number of falls. The only hunting I did was gun deer season. I didn't even bow hunt because we had
It's part of the
swim
long
meets and-
game, right?
Yeah,
That's the long game.
Mhm.
This is a season of life. I ain't going to be in the woods as much.
Yep.
And that's the part where I start to take up claim with like, yeah, I'm not going to get a big buck. I have to live in reality.
Yep.
I don't have all this time. And if I were to make the time, I'm sacrificing other things. And I don't know that I'm willing to make that trade-off.
I never wanted an upset family because I went hunting or fishing. I never wanted that, and I don't think I had that. Maybe one or two times in my life. That was it. But so I always I stood true to it, and we'd get up early and go and get home early. There was many times where this goes back to fishing where I'd be muskie fishing in the morning, and the rods and reels and nets would come out of the boat, and the two tubes would go in the back, and we'd be tubing in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a balance.
It's hard to balance when you have that ego and drive as a young man and you want to get that grip and grin. And you want it's not about that though. It's about like you want to know that you can accomplish the thing that you're trying to accomplish, because killing a mature deer is really hard.
Yeah.
And so there's challenges that come along with it, that when you defeat those challenges, you feel like I put my mind to something and I got it done. And you don't realize how hard it's going to be, much like parenting.
No.
You don't really know how hard it's going to be until you're in it.
Here's the other tip I'll give you on that. Don't, and I mean this is all in all sincerity. I mean, anyone who spent any amount of time in the woods or on the water, you can tell because the weather dictates a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking for cold fronts. Like I'm trying to be.
The weather dictates a lot in hunting and fishing. Don't ever fight for hunting or fishing time. And I mean this in all sincerity. It's not a joke. Don't ever fight for hunting and fishing time when you got shitty weather patterns.
That's where this is working.
That's
out
where I'm
in
at
your
right now.
favor.
I'm like,
we haven't had
I'm
a
like, the
good
weather sucks.
weather
It's all
pattern
good.
in the whole beginning of our tree season.
No, I'm still itching. I'm still itching, and I'm
I know you are.
communicating that itch.
I feel like every
so
time
when the
I
cold front
hunt,
happens, I feel like it's going to be like
it's harder on you because like you're like, oh no,
there
got out.
was times in my fishing when we lived up north where it'd be Saturday morning and there'd be nothing going on, and a massive cold front had come through, and the temp had dropped 15 degrees, and you got all the humidity was gone, and you got east winds, and we'd be sitting around doing nothing Saturday morning. My wife would say, "Do you want to go fishing?" And I would just make something else up to do. Well, why don't we do this instead? Yeah, I would have loved to went fishing, but instead we went and did this with the family.
Yeah, you almost have to like swing the pendulum so far to the other side that you feel fulfilled here.
Yeah.
That you feel like good that you gave up the other thing.
Yeah.
Like you need to make your bucket so full on the personal side that like, look, if I'm going to not go hunting, we're going to have the best fucking apple picking experience I've ever had in my damn life.
Yep.
And I'm going to be pouring in as a dad.
And there's nothing better than apple picking on a shitty hunting day, because that's what you want to do.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you're going to see a buck rub on the apple tree on the outskirts of the orchard, but it's going to hurt a little bit, but you're going to get over it.
You may find the landowner near the apple orchard.
We're always
You may
scouting.
bump into the neighbor
Yeah.
when he's getting his mail.
Always be scouting. Always be scouting. But
That sounds like a whole other topic for a podcast.
Yeah.
apple picking.
Not apple picking, balancing the family and hunting.
It is, and there's guys now that have come like I'm forgetting his first name. Emery is his last name. I'm trying to think, but he's got like a dad podcast where he's got his kids on the podcast with him all the time. He's like really doing a great job of being a steward of like being that present dad and bringing their kids into it. Why can't I think of his first name? Is
it the one we talked to?
He's been on the podcast at some point in time in the past. I've met him in person a bunch of times. He's a good dude, but like he's got like this dad hunting show now that I've noticed, and it's just like, dude, good for you. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I try to get my kids involved in stuff all the time. I'm like, they come in here, I'm like, don't touch the buttons. Yeah, they fucked stuff up in here enough that I'm like, don't touch the buttons.
Yeah.
In the past, I was more like, oh, look at that, it's cute. They're in the podcast seat and doing stuff. They still do that. I'm a little like,
I admittedly hunt more than anyone else on our
yeah, dude, you're in here
team.
like sweating bullets as we're talking about this.
I do, and I'm out at least once a
But
week.
you're an intense human in all facets, so you probably outweigh it pretty well.
Here's how I justify it. most dads are the ones who are away at work all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I am home from work more than my spouse, and I am off for 3 months in the summer with my kids.
Oh.
And I'm not saying that justifies me being gone from them, but I get a lot of like really awesome quality time with them. So like to be honest, like hunting is more my thing than
Yes.
most people. So my wife is appreciative of that, and like having two good people with a good plan, exactly what John outlined, that communicate has been helpful.
Yeah.
So I do take more time than most
Yeah.
in my situation.
Well, I think I'm pretty sure Ryan Holiday said this in it was probably I forget which book it was. Ego is the Enemy, Obstacles Away, or Still Key, one of those books. Damn it. But Gary Vee also said this. And these are two people that I pull a lot of inspiration from in life and how I operate this business and all that stuff. Is like, I think it's actually Jerry Seinfeld said something about like garbage time. If you Google this, you'll probably find it. But there are a lot of dads that they have the time, but then they're just on their phone. They're not present. There's a difference between being present and then doing the thing you love and not being present doing the thing you love. It's different. If you are super hyper present when you are with your kids, then some of those other things are justified because you've tipped the scales in a way that actually matters. If you're not present and then you're also literally vacant and not present, that's a different problem.
That's a very valid point. I watched my next door neighbor a number of years ago push his daughter on a swing with one hand, and he'd get her going, and then she'd swing 3 or 4 times, and he sat like this.
It's
and
hard for the kids.
She'd almost come to a stop.
To it, though,
she'd
too.
almost
It's
come to a
tricky.
stop. Dad. Oh, and then he'd push her again. And I felt bad for the
Quality
kid.
time.
I felt bad for the kid. Put
We've
your
all
damn
been there.
phone
We've
in
all
your
done it.
pocket.
We've all done it.
Yeah.
But when you have the self-awareness,
Yeah.
and usually you see it in your spouse. My wife will be on the phone. What are you doing on your phone? And then she does it to me, and the defenses go up immediately. I'm doing something important. Nothing is more important than what's happening right damn now. And I'm saying this as a reminder for myself. I'm not scolding people. It matters. It matters. I can't imagine a world where our parents grew up. We didn't have this. This wasn't a fucking problem for our parents. Our parents didn't have cell phones, let alone smartphones and the internet and the world at their fingertips. Presence was inherent. Now, granted, they're probably thinking about other shit, or there's a newspaper. So, like, we as humans gravitate towards the things we want to think about. But
And this
it's
is
a different world. You're present with your kids. You just did a Sunday fun day with your boy, or was that
Yeah, you just talked
Sunday
about
or Saturday?
Saturday, yeah.
You did a bunch of shit, bro.
Bro, the phone was not involved with that.
It doesn't. It
beautiful.
can't be to have that kind of fun.
But here's a friendly reminder, ripping it back to hunting.
Yes. Sorry.
This beautiful, wonderful time that we're all trying to figure out how to get more of. Don't squander that time by sitting on your freaking phone either, because there's a lot of people who are in the tree stand. You know, like,
what if your wife knew that that's what you're doing in the deer woods?
you think
She'd
you'd
be like,
go
"Are you
out
kidding
more?
me, dude? I thought you were hunting. You're just sitting there doing that shit. Like, go sit on the toilet more,
Enjoy
bro."
your time, connect with nature, connect with your family when you're with your family.
Only one time in my hunting career have I ever been like this. And there was one right underneath me. I was on the edge of a
You learn your lesson real
I was
quick.
on the edge of a cornfield, and not many people know this, but there's a difference between chopping corn and picking corn.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I do not know what that means, but I'm glad that you do.
I was hunting the cornfield that they had chopped. So the deer was walking on hard dirt. So the deer made
Quiet as
zero
could be.
noise coming in. Yeah, it was a small buck, thank God. I would have really been pissed if it was a doe, but yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
But
I had to happen. Greg Tubbs, I'll never forget, sent me some article that I felt like I needed to read at the time, and it was like right when the buck I didn't know I was after showed up, and I totally botched it because of that. I wasn't ready.
Last year, I had been.
It was my fault, not Greg's, but nonetheless.
It's your fault again. But last year, not really. I had made a
How
cell
many
phone.
group texts we have going on where we're always like texting people and shit in the stand?
There's a lot.
Dude, like, give me out of
Something
it.
always happens when I'm out hunting too. But I had my cell phone. I got like a phone mount, which helps for you not to ever look at it because it's on my freaking bow. But it's for filming. So like I got like over my arrow, and I was hunting the day I shot that little 10-pointer last year.
Little 10-pointer?
Nice 10-pointer.
I'm like, was just.
But
hold on a
all of a
second.
sudden, I hear the phone, or I see it light up, and it's Eric Clark. 3 messages in rapid. I'm like, he freaking shot one. Yes, let's go. It's like November 4th. So I pull my phone
Was it
off.
when I actually did shoot the one?
No, you were asking about something else. And I was like, okay, I'll get to it later. And as soon as I like put my phone down, I was like gonna put it back in the thing. All of a sudden that buck came, so I never put it back in my thing and got footage. So it's all your fault, Eric.
See how this works?
It's not your
But
fault.
it is like these things are so intrusive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
they are.
It's not your fault.
They are.
The watch has been nice because I can be like, no, don't need to do that. Don't need to do that. Don't need to do that. Like, I just can't ignore
I
stuff.
refuse to do that. I like my.
I didn't
like
mean
it.
to. I just started doing it one day. I was like, wait, I didn't know it could. I didn't even know this watch could do it. It's not an Apple Watch. It's not. It's just like a Garmin. I got it for running, and apparently it does other stuff. This is a good overall good topic. I don't know. You had more notes here. We're already an hour and 10 in. What else did we not cover?
You know, I think there was really only one thing that I had left on here. And I wish I knew the author's name, and I've seen it written in many different shapes and forms. But it's the stages that a hunter or fisherman goes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have them documented here in the article I talked about.
Yep.
It's shooting and this doesn't happen in like sequential order necessarily.
No.
It can, but shooting stage, limiting out stage, trophy stage, method stage, sportsman's stage.
Right. So
5.
I just take the method stage out of it, and shooting your first, as many as you possibly can.
Stack them.
Only the big ones. And then the last one, which is where I ultimately graduated to, and I'm firmly seated there, and that's stage 4, and that's where the only reason I go to the field these days is for memories and camaraderie. That's it, and to fill my freezer. That's a big part of it too.
I know some guys will pick up a camera.
Mm-hmm.
I think that helps kind of like.
Yep.
I feel like it's almost like if you're hooked on cigarettes and you need that nicotine. Actually, it's funny. I just said this today earlier. I was like, man, I don't smoke cigarettes, but I feel like I've been very frustrated and irritated lately. I'm like, is this what people, when they feel like they need a cigarette? I feel like I need a cigarette, but I don't fucking smoke.
Have you been lingering at the gas station counter? Like,
I'm like, do I need a cigarette right now? But I don't even smoke.
Yeah, that's funny.
To then go to like the dummy one to just keep the motion going, like I think a camera can like get you that satiation you need without pulling the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
You could snap the shot and then get the big buck, but you didn't kill it.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
The camaraderie part of that is such a huge thing for so many people. And if you're not lucky enough to have some sort of deer camp, or like you got to hear me talking to my parents, like I'm very blessed to have a family that loves to do this, and
part of the fabric of the family.
That's what we do together. Like that's our time. But if that's not where you have grown up, or you don't have that, or even if you do have that, just don't forget, like, public land hunters. Like there was a clip that you made of this the other day. I was talking about it, but like you have the ability to create that every time you go in the woods or interact with another hunter. Like you can create that camaraderie or that like just pleasant atmosphere when you interact with anyone else. It doesn't have to be someone from your hunting camp or a good old buddy or your brother. When you run into somebody, like you have the opportunity to like kind of like extend that olive branch and just make it like a enjoyable experience, and like a good experience for everyone, rather than like stay out of my fucking spot, like you have the opportunity to like kind of build that community that you always talk about. Like every time you run into somebody, it doesn't have to be harsh. Like
the one thing I've wondered a lot, and I legit do wonder this, is the web of friendships and relationships that
look how we met. Look what we're doing right now.
Right. That have been created.
The 3 of us.
Yeah. That have been created through the outdoors for me, especially as long as I've been doing it. I mean, I made lifelong friends from my guiding business. I mean, it's unbelievable to me that I have these many people that I met because of the outdoors. I often question if people that play tennis, golf, softball, if they have these types of experiences.
I bet you to an extent.
I'm sure they probably do. Yep.
I wouldn't want to go and bash.
Mm-hmm.
Feels a little bit more pretentious.
Yeah, no, and like it's a legit wonder. I'm like, I wonder if guys who play in softball tournaments make lifelong friends like this.
I play a lot of softball. I don't have the friends from that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
beer league shit.
There's a connection, I believe, that's different, that's made when you're on the water or when you're in the woods. There's just, and look, as a hunter or fisherman, you can walk into any fishing camp or any hunting camp and bam, you got something in common.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
It's brotherhood.
That's huge. You've got something in common. Whether he shoots a Remington or you shoot a Weatherby, you're there doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That is the thing that's worth reminding everybody of that's listening, that we don't need to be the neck biting the head off. There's different calibers, there's different modalities, there's different gear, there's different tactics, different land, different age, class A value, all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, we're all engaged in a shared experience that predates us as Homo erectus. Like,
I was just thinking, like back in literally back in the day, like the hunters. Like,
this is a shared experience across.
That's what they did. They shared in the hunt. They shared
Yeah.
in that bond. They probably swapped techniques and strategies. And
just like
here
mothers
we are.
have all given birth forever ago and will continue to do so forever. Hopefully that's how life goes. This isn't The Handmaid's Tale, but like hunting is a shared experience through not just generations, but like eons of this earth and existence as human beings. It's a shared experience that goes back on the timeline and forward on the timeline and exists now in the present. And we share that experience across that timeline in a way that's like, this is not even a good articulation of it, but that's the shared experience that we get to do. I don't give a shit how you do it. I care that we get to do it together in some way, shape, or form. And that is of value to us.
And the majority of my memories don't surround 50-inch muskies. They don't.
They kind of do, probably.
But they don't surround.
Because if you get that net and you don't get it right.
The missed ones. Yeah, the missed ones. Yeah. They don't surround 175-inch deer, 155-inch deer. It's the whole weekend. It's the whole week. It's the whole trip.
It's not the game. It's the tailgating almost.
Yeah,
that stands
it's
out.
just and for me, my nephew Gunner, he may say something totally different than that at the stage he's at.
Yeah,
and I'm good with that. I'm fine with that.
His name's Gunner.
Yeah.
What a fucking beast.
Yeah. He went to state in wrestling last year, took second in his weight class. Yeah.
And the pictures John was showing, I mean, just some beautiful deer he's on to.
He's a great kid. He's humble.
That's good.
Like I told you guys, he'll give me a wink and a nod and say, "Go hunt over there."
That's the best. That makes it even better, more likable.
Yeah, he's a great kid. But for me, it's just I've been there. I lived it. And this sounds arrogant. My walls are full.
That's okay.
Yeah. And
it's like making. I've never made $1 million. I don't know if I ever will. But like, if money is a tool, not the goal.
Yeah.
And if you hit the goal, then you realize really quick that it was never the fucking goal.
Yeah.
If you fill your wall and that's the goal, well, you hit that goal and you're like, oh yeah, it was about the memories the whole time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a full wall. I have 2.
The last one I shot my wife, it sat in the garage for a number of days. She said, "What are you going to do with that?" I said, I don't know. And she said, you want to mount it. Just mount the damn thing, So we did. And that deer had a great story to it too. That was one of the unique ones that, everyone says, oh, they're going to get bigger every year. They're going to get bigger every year. We had this deer on camera for 3 years. He just never did anything.
This is why I love Rack Hub. Mount the memories, man.
Yeah. Yep. So I used that digital taxidermy for
that's cool.
Fish that I caught in Canada a couple years ago.
Very nice.
Very. That's a great way to memorialize something.
He said he won't do
so.
podcasts. He said he can't trust his mouth as a former Marine to be on air.
Yeah.
I was like, we'll see about that.
It took me forever to get him going and get him engaged, but once I got him going and once I got him engaged, it was bam, 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 and I think I had that print in 3 days, delivered to my house in the UP. Which nothing gets to the UP in 3 days.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Our gear comes from the UP almost.
Yeah.
Marinette, Wisconsin is where our 3PL is. It all gets shipped out of up north.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I appreciate you guys having me on. I don't know if we're wrapping up or not, but
I think we can bring the plane in for a landing or start to pack up the stand and head out of the woods.
So I would tell everybody this: don't get so wrapped up in the antlers, guys. It's just it's not worth it. Don't buck shame anybody. Don't get hung up on the score. You and I talked about that. None of that is really what it's about. And you may live in that world now as a hunter, and that's fine. Live there, enjoy it. Don't shove it down anybody else's throat. And you may stay there for your whole life. I have a good friend in Madison who he'll never get out of that stage. He measures everything. It's all about bigger. That's it. And that's fine. It's just that.
What are the inches for Pope and Young and Boone and Crockett again?
Pope and Young is what,
Pope and Young is
125?
bow, right?
Bow and arrow.
Yep.
Boone and Crockett is
Boone and Crockett.
Gun
with
or
the
bow.
Gun or bow.
Yep.
But are the
It's
inches
170.
different?
Yeah, it's
170
170.
net.
Yeah.
Those are both net.
But Pope and Young
scores.
is bow only.
Bow only,
Bow
correct.
What is it? 125?
125.
I should submit this guy, huh? I think he hits it. We'd back in a napkin that thing and never went any further.
I don't.
Does it not? It was 136 and some odd something.
I don't know if we net scored it though.
Oh, so yeah, probably
That's a
not.
gross
then.
score.
Yeah.
This
is why I can't run a
That's a
business.
big difference.
That's why I
depending
can't run
on
a
the
business because there's net revenue and then there's your bottom of gross profit margin.
Right.
I'm like,
Neither of them.
you would come back for trade shows and Tyler's like, well, the bottom line, guys, is we actually lost money. I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah.
And I'm like, did you guys see the 180 over there?
Yeah.
We're all talking different numbers, nets and gross.
You can sell $14,000 worth of hats and T-shirts, but if it costs you $15 to do it,
You're not
gross
doing
is
so hot.
it didn't do so
The
good.
bottom line is tell me a different story.
You were talking before about how it's 100% the main domination of the market is big antlers.
Yep.
Remember when we went to the Iowa Deer
Oh my
Classic?
God, it
you
was
weren't
hilarious.
sure if we were supposed to be there, and you're like, I just don't know if we're gonna stand out. I was like, Eric, look around. Every hat and T-shirt has at least a 90-inch antler. We have a 4-inch antler. We stand out.
Yeah.
And we did. I'll never forget that experience.
People walking by like,
Was it a
what
good
the
show, though?
hell?
It was we sold a lot of Busch Light hoodies.
Okay.
We have the beer camp Busch Light hoodie.
We had a lot
sold
of
out of those.
It was
But there were
good
kids.
talking
There
to
were
people.
kids that came up that were like showing us 150, 160, saying, "A pass." I'm like, "Have you ever killed a deer?" No, not yet. I'm waiting for the big one. I'm like, "What?
That's how it is.
Yeah,
down
that's
I'm
how
there.
like,
it
bro,
is.
you can't go to the gym and lift 200 pounds if you've never lifted 100.
Yeah.
What
And
are you
then
talking about?
and then they make a bad shot because they don't have the
Haven't practiced.
They
experience.
don't have the
Killing deer.
reps. They don't have the reps.
Yeah.
But Kurt Geyer with Working Class challenged me on that point. He's like, "What if that kid's just that driven? That's his fucking goal."
Yeah.
I was like, "Good for him, dude." But like, you can't tell me a 16-year-old knows what his fucking goals are that hard. Like,
Right.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I think they're being influenced by the industry in a way that's a little unhealthy.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Of
Make
all
a
of
couple
those-
memories before
Of all
you
those,
make
I
a
think
big memory.
it could be true, but I love being challenged on this stuff because it's worthwhile to have those conversations. I'm committing to evenings only this year. No all-day rotation. Taking off 12 p.m. every weekday from October 20th. Minnesota Gun, November 8th. Thoughts afternoon only. Trial experiment.
Is it for hunting or just twerking?
If
I
that's,
love
what you,
the handle.
if that's what you have to work with, then that's what you have to work. You'll figure it out.
You posted on social media the other day about afternoon or evening hunts.
50-50 for most people.
Yeah, I'm
Just really
50.
depends.
If I look at my wall, I'm 50-50.
Do what you can.
Yeah.
Do what you can.
I've said it for years. You can't kill them or catch them from the couch.
all of my big ones were between 10 and 2. Still,
A lot of guys like that too.
Still
A lot of guys like
Just
that.
in
too.
November.
Uh-huh.
November.
Yeah.
Also
I'd
goes
say
fine.
November 5th and on. Middle of the day has been when I seen all the big ones.
Gun season for me is mornings. Gun season is definitely mornings.
Yeah, because like you got your that's just I don't know, it's a whole different paradigm.
Yeah, it is.
You got 600,000 people that take the woods with a freaking
Yeah.
rifle that
Yeah.
half those people haven't touched the woods in a year anyways.
Yeah.
It gets the deer moving.
Yeah.
Good comment. Tree stand twerkers. Thanks for the comment here. Also, goal is 5 deer, 4 does, 2 year or plus, 1 buck, 3 year or older. Have a crossbow for the ground. Dude, crossbow on the ground is deadly as shit.
Yeah,
Good
it
for
is.
you.
Yep.
Compound for tree hunts. Rex on how to get it done by gun. I don't know. Get your reps in, dude. Get your time in the stand. That's how you get it done.
Hunt the weather. Hunt the weather.
Find some hot acorn trees early
Hunt-
for does.
Scout your way in. Scout the hot sign. That's been good for me.
Oh.
I don't know. Get away from other hunters as much as you can. Every year it compounds. Every year you get more knowledge. It helps the following year, the following season. That's why I'm so good these days.
Yeah. Yeah. The
You're
boy.
deadly, dude. If you can get it done in 3 sits, you're better than all of us.
They call me the 3-sit wonder.
Yeah.
You're gaslighting us as this rookie novice hunter. You're full of shit, Clark.
Just wait till I get the time.
We're going to be deadly once those kids get 18.
No, I won't. They'll be
Yeah.
deadly.
Which is the
I
goal.
still won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
You'll be damn good at gutting them up by then.
Oh, I hope so. I'm not good at that. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. John, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
It's good to be
Thanks for
back.
coming in,
Yeah,
dude.
good to see you guys again. I want to, love being involved with you guys, and I'll help you out any way I can. I appreciate the offer.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
the
you.
opportunity.
We get comments on YouTube. You can comment on Spotify. I'll do my best to respond to those comments. But if you have comments, thoughts, questions, inquiries, or concerns about this episode, it's not the latter. Don't have any concerns. Just throw them in there. We'd love to chat with you guys. We have a live phone number. No calls on this episode, but I didn't do a good job at displaying. We had a good, healthy debate and conversation here, so probably wasn't a lot of room for that. But you can always call into the show too. So thank you a bunch. I'm glad to have the shirt back in Wisconsin. Hell yeah, Tony. Thank you. Good dude right there. All right. Well, that's a show. Thanks for tuning in.